Thank you for the introduction. It's good to be back here again. My name is Randy Cohen. I'm president and CEO of Hempsana and also co-founder of the company. What I'd like to do today is give you an overview of our company and provide you with some exciting milestones as we planned for 2021. Well, Hempsana is a Canadian cannabis company focused on industrial scale production of cannabis derivatives, as well as end product manufacturing of cannabis 3.0 products. Our technology capabilities include cryogenic extraction of cannabinoids for both cannabis and hemp biomass, and further refinement capabilities that allow us to purify the extracts into various formats, such as high quality distillate and isolate. As well, we've added custom formulations to our portfolio, which includes rare cannabinoid production, such as CBN and Delta-8 THC. As part of extending our service offering to our peers in the cannabis industry, Hempsana has built out an as-a-service platform intended to provide solutions to companies that can outsource services for various cannabis derivatives or end product manufacturing processes. The platform provides services ranging from extraction as a service, which has been a popular service for licensed producers that have issues with expiring cannabis. Post-processing as a service, which includes distillate and isolate production, and remediation services, which is critical for cannabis 3.0 manufacturers. We also offer formulation as a service, which provides customers white labeling solutions for various cannabis 3.0 products, which is what is really catching the attention of consumers in the cannabis as well as psychedelic markets. As part of expanding our manufacturing capabilities, we're partnering with a CBD branded company that will provide us with end product manufacturing capabilities for these popular cannabis 3.0 products. We're extremely excited to be offering up the launch of our infused topical creams and healing salve line, as well as providing formulations in the oil tincture categories. With the rare cannabinoid production around the corner for Hempsana, we're also looking to provide unique curated vape pens with targeted demographics for various consumer segments of the market. As well, we're excited about the various edible formats that offer alternative ways to ingest cannabis products to the consumers in the cannabis market. Now, when we look at the landscape of the cannabis market, we see continued growth in Canada with an increase of 120% in year-over-year sales from 2019 to 2020, which is really contrary to how the cannabis markets fared in the capital markets last year. As we saw great growth numbers where the cannabis retail sales ended up totaling $3 billion. We also continue to see growth on a global scale with retail sales hitting $21 billion. Now let's put a bit of context here. The global alcohol market was valued at over $1.6 trillion in 2020, with year-over-year sales growing to 3.4%. I think it's fair to say that there's a lot of room for growth in the cannabis market. Now, looking back at the year in 2020 and looking forward into 2021, we saw a few key trends form, which we continue to see play out this year. As I stated earlier, we continue to see strong growth in the cannabis industry, but we also see price compression across the cannabis market. And although this may be unfavorable for many companies in the industry, as margins begin to diminish, we believe this is reflective of a maturing market. In fact, the greatest thing that has happened with this price compression is that the legal market has outpaced the illicit market for the first time in Q3 of 2020 on the strength of lower price points. Another major trend we're seeing with the consumers is the movement away from flower-based products and a movement towards extract-based products such as topicals, edibles, and beverages, which positions Hempsana very well in the market space. In fact, Statistics Canada released a report this quarter stating that cannabis extract and oil products grew over 170% between 2019 and 2020 versus nominal growth in cannabis flower. Now, again, let me put this into context. The extract-based market not just doubled last year, but almost tripled last year in a market where we faced major downturn in the cannabis capital markets, compounded by a global pandemic. Now, when we look ahead, we see continued growth for Canada into 2024, where retail sales are expected to hit $10 billion and $47 billion globally, which is enormous growth. Again, the trend we're seeing here is that cannabis 3.0 products have steadily gained market share and continue to outpace flower-based products. This trend is very similar to what we've seen in the US over the last few years, with many states such as Colorado and California seeing retail sales number exploding in the Cannabis 3.0 product categories. Now let's transition to the retail sales market here in Canada. If one were to look at the inventory levels at the beginning of 2021 on the Ontario Cannabis store, which is the largest cannabis online store in Canada, they would have discovered that the site had over 1,000 unique products available to consumers across 340 brands. Now, these numbers look very respectable. However, what we've discovered is that there's a major gap in one of the product categories. Out of 1,000 plus products available on OCS, we were unable to find one product for sale in the Cannabis 3.0 category infused with rare cannabinoids. In fact, only recently were we able to find 3 products available to consumers in the Cannabis 3.0 category, which really makes up less than 0.5% of the product portfolio on OCS. We believe that the Canadian market has a serious Cannabis 3.0 undersupply issue. And we believe this is a huge opportunity to Hempsana in the Canadian market space. As part of the solution for the undersupply issue of Cannabis 3.0 products, Hempsana has initiated the production of rare cannabinoids for the purposes of infused Cannabis 3.0 products, with a product launch scheduled for later this year. Hempsana anticipates the rollout of potentially 20 plus products in the Cannabis 3.0 product category, which will increase the current inventory of Cannabis 3.0 products 7 times, which based on current metrics would provide 2% of the market share on OCS. We believe we will be the first, if not one of the first to market with these unique Cannabis 3.0 products. Now, when we look at the global expansion strategy, we recently initiated discussions with several companies in Latin America and in Europe. And I'd like to highlight the UK opportunity as we're very excited to be working with a UK CBD product company where we jointly submitted an application to the FSA in the UK. Now, what this means is that we have the opportunity to offer our products on the shelves at some of the well-known stores in the UK, such as Selfridges, Boots, and other retail outlets. We're currently targeting to be on the shelves of these types of retail stores in the UK in the latter part of 2021 on the backs of our Cannabis 3.0 product launch in Canada. So how does our company execute these milestones effectively? Well, we've put together an experienced management team with excellence in operational execution and strong capital markets experience. Our co-founder and chief quality officer, Soham Manna, has been an instrumental leader in driving revenue growth as president of Eurofins, which is a $7 billion global company specialized in biopharmaceutical and cannabis testing. Our newly appointed chief financial officer, David Chan, formerly CFO of VersaPay, which is a publicly traded fintech company, brings a wealth of corporate strategy experience, as well as deep relationships within the institutional and retail investor community. We also recently brought on board Adam Potts as head of sales and business development. Adam brings strong sales and revenue generation experience with a proven track record in the pharmaceutical and cannabis space. Now, looking into 2021, this year is setting up to be a banner year for Hempsana as we transition our focus from the commercialization of our facility into accelerated revenue growth. Over the past year, we have been working towards developing strong strategic partnerships with companies that provide us unique product offerings, as well as help expand our revenue stream beyond tolling and the supply of bulk cannabis derivatives. We've just finalized 3 large processing agreements that require us to extract over 50,000 kilograms of hemp biomass into various API grade products, ranging from crude to isolate formats over the next 6 months, which will have a very positive impact on our production capacity as we will hit greater than 80% capacity ahead of schedule with revenue potential up to $24 million Canadian. As I spoke about earlier on, we're very excited about accelerating into the rare cannabinoid space as it provides us greater potential for higher margins, but more importantly, we are excited about our foray into the psychedelic space as we are in a late stage discussions with a few psychedelic companies to work on innovative product development initiatives, as well as areas where we can provide support in clinical trials. Lastly, as part of our public listing initiative, we are currently working with the CSE on our listing approval and a target to list on the exchange very shortly. This co-public initiative lays the foundation of our M&A growth strategy that we look to execute on over the next 12 months after the public listing. Now, many potential investors have asked if there is an opportunity to invest into Hempsana before we go public. And the answer is yes. We are currently closing off our last private placement in the next few weeks before we go public. So if you are interested in participating in this pre-RTO round, you can email us at info@hempsana.ca or randy@hempsana.ca. Thank you.
Hi, Randy. So let's welcome some of the questions here. The first one from Andy. You seem to have a lot of markets targeting. Are you working with local partners in each country?
Yeah, so with regards to the global expansion strategy, we actually have one main European distribution center that we're working with that has links into various countries. So we're working through one of their main contacts, as well as some local contacts as well.
And this one from Amy. You show some big industry growth numbers. And are you guys able to see similar growth pattern in your company?
Well, I think one of the things that we're really impressed upon for this year is that we are looking to be first movers in the market of rare cannabinoids and the products around the rare cannabinoids, cannabis 3.0 products. As I stated earlier, there's 3 products out of 1,000 on the largest, online store in Canada. So there's a great opportunity for us to really capture market share there. We're looking to capture 2% of the market share, which should generate between $25 and $50 million in revenue over the next 12 to 18 months.
Okay, next one from Mark's is asking about your listing there, and can you tell us a bit more that what's the exchange and then the sort of the timeline that we're looking at, the last mile?
Yeah, so we've been working with the Canadian Security Exchange over the last couple of months. We've put in our listing statement, and we're looking to have final approval on that in the coming weeks. So it should be imminent. We're not allowed to talk about when it's going to be happening, but we do think it's going to be coming along very shortly. Like I talked about before, our private placement is going in concurrent with this our Go Public initiative. So if you're interested in that as well, you can contact us.
And the next one coming from Shan Chen, and he's just asking in the R&D, how much money have you been spending, or have you been invested in any R&D in your company?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're really impressed upon with our team is that we have very, I would say, elite members in our production team. We have 2 fellows that have PhD levels, and so they continuously look at efficient ways to run our production capacity, as well as new products that we're looking at. So we've done that internally, as well as partnered with other other companies that specialize in the space, and we're creating joint ventures, joint venture agreements, so that we can actually catalyze and monetize our revenue streams through those joint ventures. Okay.
Another one coming from Caliana. So how has the pandemic affected the demand of the CBD products? What do you expect we return to normalcy soon?
Yeah, well, I think the CBD marketplace here in Canada is a little bit of an anomaly. If you look at the US market, they've exploded. I feel like the Canadian market is a little bit behind. Part of it is that the marketing capabilities that the LPs have, such as our company, we're limited. Health Canada doesn't allow us to have packaging, have different advertisements on that. So the marketing capabilities were handcuffed a bit. So it's been a challenge to get our products into the Canadian market. But I think this year is going to be a big year. A lot of people around the world understand the benefits around the CBD. And so I think that's going to really catapult our sales, and as well as other sales in the cannabis market here in Canada between 2021 and 2022.
Yes, this one coming from B. Fisher is asking, what are the terms of the raise that you're doing, and what time is it closing?
Yeah, so the terms of the raise is that we're doing a $1.05 unit, which comes along with a half warrant and 1 common share. The warrant is exercisable at $1.50 over a 24-month period. The terms of the close date is in the next couple of weeks. So if it is closing pretty quickly. We've had this open and shut private placement since the last 2 weeks. We're looking to close this in the next 2 weeks as well.
Okay, I think I covered most of the questions here, Randy. So thank you for the update here today, and for all the interested parties, please contact Randy and Hempsana is the company.
All right, thanks, Gilbert.